This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. This is another great episode of First in Fantasy with your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ. And as we enter the season of gratitude, I'm thinking about the people who make a difference in my life. And that includes the people who give us a little reminder to take care of ourselves. Therapy can be that way. You can do that, helping us grow and build skills to handle life's ups and downs. If you're considering therapy, BetterHelp is a great place to start. It's entirely online, flexible, and works with your schedule. Just fill out a quick questionnaire and you'll be matched with a licensed therapist you can connect with at any time. And if things aren't the right fit, switching therapists is easy and it doesn't cost you extra. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/downmoney to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/down money. Now that the bills are paid, Zoe, we could finally
Let's
get into
go.
some
Let's
fantasy
get it. I'm
content.
excited.
Trade deadline was today, 1 o'clock on the West Coast, 4 o'clock on the East Coast. I don't care about anything else in between, so don't expect me to know all the time zones other than the time zones I've lived in. So,
Right.
Ingram, Duce, there was a lot of movement today. Has there been any trades that caught your eye?
Absolutely. My team finally got their wide receiver too. We got Mike Williams.
Yay.
Yeah, finally, whether it was Brandon Ayuk, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, the
None
list
were
goes
in,
on and on. We
by the
we
way.
tried to get a wide receiver and we finally got one. Um, Initial thoughts, I didn't really like it at first, but taking a step back and knowing how our offense is operating, he's a 6 foot four, 200 plus pound wide receiver who's going to be
Deep threat.
blocking a lot. And he's also a deep threat. So, it takes a little bit off of George Pickens. George Pickens can actually go into the slot. So I like the pickup. And then like I said, they're focused on running and he's a good run blocker. So that's most important.
I mean, yeah, if he's going to be that acquisition, I believe he has a role already. I mean, he clears
Right.
talent wise Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin. I mean, neither one of those guys have a 12% target share. Well, more than 12% target share. So it's like you got a guy like Mike Williams that has the same amount of targets, two less catches as Calvin Austin. It's kind of
Hmm.
like, all right, you get a plug and play guy that could be a deep threat as well. It's just a matter if he can stay healthy. And I think he's pretty much fresh. He hasn't played much with the Jets. And I think, over there, it's more so a toxic environment
Very
rather than
toxic.
a great fit for him. So hopefully the Steelers, they get some life out of him. I mean, honestly, I put a claim in him for him and a couple, waiver wire claims. And I think I got nothing to lose with wide receivers dropping like flies each and every single week.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, I need you to put some respect on Calvin Austin's name. Just like you
For
got Deutschland, I got CA3 land over here, and he's going to be rising with this acquisition because Mike Williams is going to be on the outside. Calvin Austin is a deep threat, so put some respect on his
when
name.
you guys do happen to run a three wide receiver set, which is very low in the rate, by the way, I guess we can see that. I honestly think, he brings something to the table as well as much as Mike Williams, just not as much playing time and target demand, I think, on a week to week basis for fantasy managers to honestly trust. I
Okay,
mean, unless
okay,
you get the return yards on special teams, because he ran a touchdown back and had a
yep.
receiving touchdown, after, Cleve Raymond did it with the Lions the night before. But, I think Calvin Austin, he can be a real life, fan. You could like him for real life purposes, but for fantasy, I don't see much, value, standalone value week to week.
Okay, I'm gonna end it with this. Just know you're gonna love this comparison. He reminds me of Kayvon Austin.
No, I hate that comparison, even though we gotta put some respect on Tavon Austin's name,
Yeah.
and don't do that to Tavon.
It's not even a disrespect. He's cut from the similar cloth. I know
No,
Kayvon Austin's more dynamic, but so is Calvin
no,
Austin.
no,
We'll see.
no.
We'll
We're
see.
not doing
We'll
a Tavon Austin and
listen.
Calvin Austin comparison right now.
Austin and
No,
Austin, they might be
no,
cousins. We'll circle
no,
back. We'll circle back around.
no.
Let's go.
Anyway, more trade news around the league, man. Today was very busy, but Khalil Herbert to the Bengals, which is a much needed ad for them because Zach Moss out indefinitely with a neck injury. which sounds like, he could be out for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or he's done for the season. So either way, they made a move because it looks like it's indicating he's going to miss some time. Initial reaction right here with Khalil Herbert, now a Bengal.
Finally,
Yes.
Khalil can
Say
have
his name.
opportunities.
Say his name.
Khalil Herbert can finally have opportunities. I don't know why the Bears just didn't ship him out sooner. Now that he's with Cincinnati, honestly, sorry, Chase Brown, but Khalil Herbert is going to take over that backfield. He is a RB1 in disguise. He catches passes. He can run between the tackles. Home
Yeah.
run threat at every single time he has the ball in his hand. So I'm happy. I'm picking him up right now. We'll see if I can get him. What about
I
you?
just thought of a fire. Like, I just thought of a fire meme I'm probably going to post after this podcast.
Okay.
It's going to be Scooby Doo of them unmasking the monster. But it's going to say backup running back on the mask. And when he takes it off, it's going to say RB1 season because we're looking at Khalil Herbert right now with an opportunity to take over that backfield, like Zoe said.
Yes.
And the reason why being that he is strictly in that building to get yards. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Zach Moss was not able to execute that from a yards per carry state, from an explosive state. Chase Brown did bring that little pep in the step,
Mhm.
but obviously they went out and got Khalil Herbert because simply they need to lighten the load on Chase Brown, for longevity purposes, I guess. But he's just as explosive. He's more explosive, if anything, with the opportunities he's been given. I mean, with 430 less opportunities than Zach Moss, this man has more explosive plays, a higher yards per carry, and a way better yards before contact, which means basically per attempt, he's getting yards before being touched. When you're looking at Zach Moss this season, well below league average. I think it was like negative 0.41. Don't get me lying out here, but it's definitely below league average. This is where Khalil Herbert takes over that backfield as an effective running back and balances that Chase Brown, where he has the PPR upside to be in the passing game. But this is going to be explosive for Khalil Herbert to get behind this line, behind Joe Burrow, and get forward in this running game because it's been lacking, even though Chase Brown has been holding it down the last 4 games.
Nothing against Chase Brown. Khalil Herbert, this is his season.
Yeah.
Man, man, I just can't wait to see the home run, capability because dump
Yeah.
offs. Joe Burrow is going to hit
This
dump
is
offs.
Here's the thing too. This is going to be finally Khalil Herbert. I was about to say Shakir. All the Khalils are eating this season,
That is facts.
but Khalil Herbert has been very explosive with his opportunities, and I think this is going to be the first time we're going to see him get unleashed fully without a leash on him, because obviously sharing the backfield with Roshan Johnson, DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery at one point, Tariq
Right.
Cohen, like the list goes on. Like it's just constantly dealing with a running back that you have to eat off of, especially with a mobile quarterback as well during that span of 2021 up until now. So it's like, damn, we finally got Khalil Herbert. So 9% rostership. How much fab this late in the season are you willing to drop on him though?
All of it.
All of
All
it.
of it. For him,
Jeez,
all of it. I'm
that's
just kidding. I'm
bullish.
just
I
kidding.
mean,
It is. I think I put like 5, 6. I think honestly the highest I'm willing to go is 25. Because this is a late round.
25%.
Yeah, because he's fresh legs and he's going to a team that needs his services. Like I know Chase Brown
Yeah.
is what he is. I honestly think he can surpass Chase Brown in the role that he's going to
Oh
be in.
yeah.
So
And in terms of getting it done on the ground, it's Khalil Herbert every single day of the week. Chase Brown, like I said, he's explosive at times. Like you'll have to design those plays for him to be explosive in open space, and that's really where most of his burst plays have come from. But he's also good between the tackles as well, but just not as effective as a Khalil Herbert that can really take that extra mile and actually get the ground and pound game going. But there were other trades, and another trade that scratched a lot of people's heads, maybe the Dallas Cowboys, but they traded a fourth round pick for Jonathan Mingo, who's done absolutely zip this entire season. I don't even think there was enough film on Jonathan Mingo this season or even last season for you to be like, yep, he is worth a fourth round pick. Please explain to me what the hell or the Dallas Cowboys doing? Like, I know Eagles fans are just screaming, laughing.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what are they doing?
I can hear Philly radio from here in Florida. They are laughing to the bank with this one. Honestly, Dallas, Jerry, whoever you want to call it, they were looking at the wide receiver market and they saying, "Hey, Mingo, why is there no film on him? Oh, let's go back to his, his college tape." And he was looking at his
Yeah,
college tape. He looked really good. And then they decided, he's worth it off of just the college tape. So, eh, I don't think that's a good idea. It's not a good trade. But hopefully in a better system, because Carolina is pretty much a dumpster fire. Maybe in a
yeah.
better system over in Dallas, they can actually have a legitimate wide receiver too.
I think they can get things working. They just need time. I mean, give Bryce Young time. He's been playing better as of late since he's been back into the starting lineup. But
Right.
more so, I'm looking at it as like they're desperate. They were so desperate in making a move. They willing to give up a fourth round for Jonathan Mingo. Like,
Come on.
wow. Like you have talent in the wide receiver room. It's just that Turbin and Tolbert, you had to wait and for them to develop to step up as supporting cast to CD Lamb. But going out and getting a Jonathan Mingo is kind of like same, but different, but still the same.
Yeah, honestly, maybe we're all wrong. Maybe they're going to turn Mingo into a running back that's going to be just take off. Like they need a running back more. So I'm kind of curious why they didn't go after Travis Etienne, Jalen Warren, um,
I don't think these people
Khalil
were for
Herbert.
sale. Well, Herbert was definitely for sale. And the thing is, I would have given up a four for Khalil Herbert if I was Dallas.
Right.
That's how good Khalil Herbert is to me. Just saying. But
Well, I'm a fan of
that's
him
just
as
my
well. Yeah,
opinion.
but we got Leonard Fournette
Again,
on free agency still. It's just
eh,
Dallas. I get it. It's better than what they got, in my
Fournette
opinion.
ain't Kareem Hunt right now. I mean, we've seen it executed before, but I don't know if that boy coming off the couch and giving you Kareem Hunt production.
Can you imagine if they actually went and got Kareem Hunt? Like how much better that offense would have been? Maybe they
But here's
wouldn't
the
be
thing too
as
about Dallas's
sucky.
backfield. I don't think any running back wants to play for that team because look at Zeke. I mean,
Right.
he's obviously not showing up to practice, and this has been a thing that it's occurred before we actually known it was public before he got suspended. So it's like
Are we
he
talking
don't
about
even want to be in
practice?
that system.
Is this
Yeah, we
2001?
talk
Are
about
we talking about
bro.
practice? Okay.
Yes, we talk about practice. You can
Okay.
get suspended for not showing up to practice. Boy, you paid to be there. You better be there,
Right. No, you're right. No, but he's a veteran, and sometimes they have veteran days off, and he probably thought it was his day off.
sir.
People
You
do
are,
get fired on their day offs. Some stuff happen on
sir.
their days off.
You are not producing at any type of relevant rate to think that you are worth a veteran day. You ain't even working. What you tired from?
Hey man, tired from running. I'll be tired from running too.
He
I'm,
tired of the circus that's over there in Jerry's world. He tired of that.
no,
He
he
is
not. That's
mentally
why.
drained more
No, we
so
can't even
than
say that because he
anything.
went back to it. He missed it. He loves it there.
Who gonna go back to free money and ticket sales and jersey sales and come
You're right.
on
You're
and
right.
go back to play with your boy? Like he was getting paid regardless. He wasn't going over there to be like this alpha running back one. Like he went over there to contribute to the run game. He didn't go there to really like take over as like, yo, I'm putting this team on my back. Like we knew what Zeke was. Like we saw him with the Patriots. Like Zeke's career is basically done. Like
It's
it's
crazy.
basically to the point where like he'll give you Latavius Murray numbers. You feel me? Like he's in that tier right now.
When you really think about it, it's kind of like a Le'Veon Bell-esque downfall. Like you had a couple years and then you just said, "Phew," went to another team, thought
Yeah,
it was sweet. No, it's not sweet there. You try to go
thought it
back.
was sweet.
You try to go
Yeah,
back and
right.
you just lost a step. It's not what it is. It's not the same.
It is what it is. But yeah, a fourth rounder for Jonathan Mingo and Trey Lance the year prior. Whoo, boy, that is real nasty work. But let's get into the waiver wire, man. Because waiver wire is this week. The time of recording, the wire isn't open yet, but you could put in those claims. I mean, Monday Night Football is over, and there's a couple running backs, that I think, to me personally, are valuable now to grab with low rostership, being that they're available across many leagues, under 50%. Zach Charbonnet, that's a name I'm gonna throw at you. I mean, do you think that he is worth? holding on to. I don't think there's going to be much, running backs on the market right now that are currently getting the uses that he's getting in, Seattle. But I feel like Kenneth Walker has shown us that he can't really stay healthy at a consistent rate. Like he'll miss, 2 or 3 games, and I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know if this is the end of it because this team doesn't look great, but at the same time, they're still going to run the rock even if they're losing.
Honestly, the way that, there's some merit behind it. If your running back has shown over the years that you can't stay healthy, that backup running back value goes up. And Zach Charbonnet is it's midseason, it's getting towards the end, it's getting colder. He's going to get a lot of touches, whether it's because of injury or if Seattle says, hey, we're going to, make sure you don't get hurt and try to give more, snaps to the backup. And that's nothing wrong with that. So, and he eats. Zach Charbonnet is no slouch either. So that's a very good pickup, in my opinion. His
Yeah,
value will only
absolutely. I mean,
skyrocket if Kenneth Walker gets injured. So I
another
think
thing
he's a
worth
stash.
noting too is that we seen him take over as the RB1 when Kenneth Walker was out, and he put up pretty decent numbers. I mean, they were giving him 20 touches plus. So I'm feeling
Mhm.
like, there's not many, running backs on the waiver wire right now that will have that type of upside. And we obviously know there's names like Tyler Algier, but Bijan and him, his balance and snaps are pretty nice. I mean, quick transition right there to Tyler Algier. I think he's another running back that has some type of high usage, but is he worth holding on knowing that the balance between the two backs is pretty healthy for them to both stay healthy on the field?
Yeah, Tyler Algier, I don't think he's worth, just a stash or even a bench spot. Like Bijan is always going to be healthy. Bijan is going to be the focal point of that offense. So
Mm.
it's just too and far in between. Like you can't really predict when Tyler Algier is going to have a good game or score a touchdown. I would honestly, I'm a say my waiver wire pickup Ray Davis. Please, please, please
Mm.
go get him because he is eating. He's doing more with less, and bearing injury to another injury-prone running back, James Cook. He's going to be the alpha, and he's going to take that and run with it, literally. So, what do you think about that as a opposed to Tyler Algier?
What's crazy is Ray Davis to me on the waiver wire is basically Jameer Gibbs waiting for opportunity on the waiver wire, if you ask me, just based
Right.
on how explosive he is. I mean, when you look at his yards per touch, it's up there with Jameer Gibbs. And
Yes.
again, he's on limited opportunities. And we saw when they unleashed him, when James Cook was out, he turned up and he put up over 100 yards. And we saw last week he had 2 catches for 70 yards. That big 63-yard
Home run
touchdown
threat.
catch,
Home
it
run.
is just a taste of what he has on the table for people. And I'm like, he's on the waiver wire, and I'm sitting here like, I'm ready to make room for him. I'm literally right now ready to make room for him, which is a great transition to the next guy that I might be making room for. It's Trey Benson.
Oh
I might
yeah.
be. I
Oh
might
yeah.
be. Look, I don't know. I might take this a different way than you think that I'm talking right now.
Let's hear it.
I will remove Trey Benson from my benches and
Oh.
add Ray Davis.
Oh. I mean, I think that's fair. He's getting more opportunities than Trey Benson. Trey Benson did score
Yes,
last week. However, Ray Davis has been getting more opportunities since the beginning of the season. So it's not his first
correct.
game scoring actually. But Trey Benson scored for the first time. I actually I wouldn't be mad at dropping Trey Benson for Ray Davis. But luckily for me, I have both on my bench, so I'm a little bit happy
Well,
with
yeah.
that. Listen,
Reason why I say that is because Amari Mercado had 24% of the snaps last week, and Trey Benson had 26. That's a little too close for usage when it comes to third down, and when because DeMarcado, he's a third down back. That's PPR upside. If James Conner ain't going to be on the field, he needs to take a win. That might be something that we need to keep an eye on, and why I feel like they shouldn't be trying to experiment with another running back. I mean, Trey Benson had 8 carries last week, but at the same time, it's like I need the usage on the field. You know what I
right,
mean? I need you
right,
on the field running routes. I need you on the field getting those targets and also getting those carries. And that does not look like that's the case. It looks like they're
right
splitting the
now.
roles between the two right
Right
now.
now.
Right
So
now, off
let
of
me
a
let me let me
very
say my
small
tidbit
sample.
about my boy Trey Benson. I actually I made a trade actually in our league. You haven't seen it yet. I traded
I'm about to
James
go look
Conner.
at it.
I traded James Conner and Bucky Irvin for D Hop, who just went off, on Monday night. I like the trade because James Conner has always been injury prone. And who is the backup running back? Yes, Demercado is there, but Trey Benson just gave them a taste of what they got in the future. Lo and behold, James Conner pulls a hamstring, which a lot of people are pulling around this time of year, or just get injured
Yeah.
in general. You know, Trey Benson is stepping in now. I'm sorry, he's RB1. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Usage rates is going up. Demercado's there as a secondary. Trey Benson is going to get the majority of the touches if James Conner go out. And going back to my
I'm
trade,
looking at this trade,
yeah,
and I'm not too sure that you won this trade.
listen, D Hop, I saw what he did Monday. He finally has an elite quarterback again, and he's going to be the focal point of that passing offense along with Xavier Worthy. So I'm happy with the trade. No regrets. No regrets.
If you got running back depth, the way you talking, I haven't looked at the team yet, but I would have kept Bucky Irvin at least.
I was
Like I
thinking
understand
about it.
James Conner.
I was thinking about it. Listen, I have Ray Davis. I have Trey Benson. I have Tank Bigsby still and Tony
You
Pollard as
begging
my
on you.
four starters.
This
But
is
we're not,
redraft, people.
yeah, we're going to also, not to mention, I have Jonathan Brooks coming off of IR very, very soon. I think
Another
I'll,
running back,
I think I'll be
rookie
fine.
running back.
I think I'll be fine. I needed wide receiver depth. He needed running backs. It was, in my opinion, it's a fair trade.
I mean, every trade you do or anybody does, I don't like because I'm not involved in it because nobody wants to trade with me. I be putting out mad players on the block. Nobody slides in the DMs. I be sending offers out. Nobody reads them.
You
So
want
I'm
me to
like, all
slide in your
right, it must
DMs?
be me.
Do you want me to slide? I'll slide in your DMs tonight. Tell you
Actually,
that.
your roommate, your roommate is actually texting me right now about Najee Harris. I'm about to go tell him to kick rocks.
No, honestly, I would give him Najee Harris. You shouldn't want to deal with that headache. If you can profit off of that, go ahead. It's just like with, this is not betting advice, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever put Najee Harris on your parlays. Just, he's a parlay killer. But that's the joke that's been going around on the
I
internet. You
have
don't want to deal
nothing
with
to
him.
do with this language of gambling right now, by the way.
Absolutely. That's just me. That's me.
Anyway, listen, this has been another great episode of First and Fantasy, man. I actually think we got some information out that is very helpful for a lot of fantasy managers. But man, tell the folks where they can find you at.
Man, you can find me on Twitter at Duce, not Deuce, and on Instagram at MF_Duce. And please, 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 I hope y'all all voted. I know I did. Shout out to my Dodgers team, and it was good. Another great episode with y'all.
LA Dodger, what up?
Let's
Listen,
go.
it's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ. You see the face, you know the case. You know where to follow me at everywhere on all social media platforms at Real Deal Fantasy. And when you're talking real estate, you're talking money down, you're talking down money media. Peace.